Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox, where we talk about all things Xbox from the original to the Series X, and today we are talking about Dead Rising. Originally released as an Xbox 360 exclusive on August 5th, 2006, but was later ported to modern systems in 2016, but today I am playing the Xbox 360 version. Dead Rising was published and developed by Capcom and is another zombie game by them, with one of their most popular franchises being Resident Evil. Dead Rising is more of a comedic and lighter take on the survival horror genre over Resident Evil. What started out as a sequel to Shadow of Rome, producer Kenji Inafune, creator of the Mega Man Legends franchise, said, "So the concept was there, and we knew we wanted to make a game for the Western market. But we wanted to make something different with that. So all of the team members from Shadow of Rome ended up making Dead Rising," which is really interesting to look at as a viewer because it moved from a Rome concept to almost something inspired by George Romero's classic 1978 film Dawn of the Dead, which is a movie set in a mall during a zombie outbreak exactly like Dead Rising. What's interesting is the team believed that the concept of surviving a zombie apocalypse in a mall was uncopyrightable and an idea that could be reused. And there was a lawsuit later, actually, that proved them correct. So the premise of Dead Rising is something that has always intrigued me. The freedom to explore a mall with no restrictions, to go where you want and take what you want, all while battling hordes of zombies with whatever you can find. It's a prime example of what we were looking for in the next generation of gaming at the start of the Xbox 360 era. Complete freedom, and the idea that a game is moldable and not set upon a strict path. These tenets are something I truly appreciate and thoroughly enjoy in Dead Rising. The mall in Dead Rising, Willamette Parkview Mall, may not be as large as maps in modern games, but its density makes up for it. Each store is fully fleshed out with its own unique store items, store type, and it just gives this really realistic feel to the mall. As you explore, you'll find stores filled with items that fit their respective theme. For example, a bookstore will have books that provide upgrades for gameplay, while a hardware store might have weapons like sledgehammers and chainsaws to help you fight off the undead more effectively. The locations in Dead Rising are not only packed with items, but also offer interesting and stylish layouts. Split up into multiple wings, the mall features variety of areas like a food court or the North Plaza with a grocery store, all following a simple mall formula. The location of Wonderland Plaza is pretty enjoyable though, with a long stretch of mall featuring a roller coaster in the middle, constantly whipping by as zombies crowd the kids zone below, adding this fun, dynamic feel to the mall, giving it a strong amount of variety. Getting into the story, you play as photojournalist Frank West, who has been dropped off at the mall and has taken it upon himself to uncover the mystery behind the zombie apocalypse. With only 72 hours to figure it out and survive until the helicopter comes back to rescue him and any survivors he has saved along the way, Frank West is thrown into a humorous and over-the-top storyline involving raging psychopaths and his constant insistence that he is a journalist. The whole experience feels like watching a fun zombie B-movie. Another thing that really adds to the greatness of this game is it's extremely freeform with its story and structure. You get to choose where you go and how you go about it. You can simply decide if you want to survive and roam around the mall killing zombies, and you could choose to do that for your 3 days of in-game time. You can also choose to try and complete the story missions as well as saving civilians and any other side quests that pop up. You decide how you want to tackle this game, and let me tell you, if you want to do everything in your first playthrough, it is extremely hard. This game tells you that this is a multiple playthrough experience because you are going to miss at least one objective due to time or any survivors dying along the way. You will have to go back if you want to experience everything. What's great about this game is that you level up as you play, and subsequent playthroughs allow you to carry over all those upgrades you've gained. You end up being able to carry more items, move faster, and even learn bare fist fighting moves. With these tools at your disposal, you have a better chance of tackling everything the game has to offer. However, this freeform gameplay style might turn off some players. I'll be honest, the first time I played this game back in the late 2000s, I wasn't expecting this kind of game, and I honestly found it a bit frustrating. I wanted to do everything now and get it done. But now, upon revisiting it, I realized just how revolutionary it was. It offers a way to play a game that can be beaten in a short amount of time, yet still provides endless replayability with new experiences in each playthrough. When I played Dead Rising after beating it, I found it helpful to learn more about the game, plan my next playthrough, and aim for certain achievements. Despite being challenging at times, it was ultimately a rewarding experience. However, it's worth noting that the game doesn't hold your hand and can be tough, especially when facing some of the bosses. Additionally, there are no checkpoints, and if you die, you will be sent back to the last bathroom you saved in, making it a very roguelike experience. This may not be for everyone, but I personally thought it added a tense element to the overall gameplay. One aspect of the game's design that I found frustrating were the AI survivors scattered throughout the mall. These stranded individuals must be escorted back to the security room for their safety. While this can be a manageable task at times, it often turns into a nightmare due to the poor AI of the characters. They frequently stop in their tracks or engage in unnecessary fights with zombies, causing delays and increasing risk of failure. Escort missions have a notorious reputation in video games, and unfortunately, Dead Rising is no exception. The controls, though, in Dead Rising work fine for the most part, but there are some weaknesses to it. The good parts are the simplicity and arcade feel that the game goes for. Movement is easy, and going through your items is a simple left and right bumper press. You get a variety of fighting moves that are all intuitive and fun to use. Since Frank West is a photojournalist, you get a camera to take pictures with that almost becomes a fun mini-game in itself. You go into a first-person view when using the camera, and you rack up points to level up by taking great pictures. However, the transition to first person can be a bit jarring and it takes some getting used to. However, the game suffers from a major camera whipping problem. When you enter photo view, the camera snaps and becomes disorienting, making it difficult to point in the direction you want. This issue is especially apparent when you pull out any gun, as the aiming can feel awkward and unintuitive. You hold the right trigger down and X to use the gun. And I don't know if I've seen another game do it this way, and it feels awkward and unintuitive. It just never feels natural. As a result, I found myself opting just to using melee weapons, and they feel great, and I don't have any issue with those. Graphically, Dead Rising is a nice looking game for the beginning of the Xbox 360 era. The creativity put into the mall is still impressive, with a fun style to it. Although the cutscenes feel a bit outdated by the end of the Xbox 360's lifespan, they were revolutionary for their time in 2006. I remember seeing this game for the first time in HD and I was amazed. One of the game's strengths is the sheer number of zombies on screen at any given time. I feel like nowadays games would have trouble rendering this many enemies without experiencing even a small bit of slowdown. But Dead Rising manages to keep up with the pace. The world is densely packed with zombies, creating a deep and believable experience. One aspect that stands out in Dead Rising is its music. The classic mall music is present, setting the tone for its typical corporate stylings. However, what's really wacky is the amount of lyrically driven music in this game, especially in the boss battles, which are a collection of rap or hard rock songs. And honestly, this music may be dated because it is very 2006, but it adds a fun and unique flair to the game overall. Since Dead Rising is an Xbox 360 game, let's dive into the achievements offered. One unique aspect is that every achievement is worth 20 gamer score. This can be good or bad depending on your perspective. On one hand, easy achievements can help boost your score quickly, but on the other hand, the harder achievements end up being on the same level as the easier ones. The achievements in Dead Rising are tough and they require multiple playthroughs. They're mainly related to completing all of the elements of the game, but there's also some fun additional ones like knocking down 10 zombies with a bowling ball. I did not go for the 100% completion here, but maybe I eventually will, as it deserves its own video just going for that. One achievement asks you to stay alive in the mall for 7 in-game days. There are safe zones to do this in, but it's still an all-day endeavor because you cannot leave, and I'm not young enough to really roll with an achievement all day anymore. Overall, the achievements are challenging, and I think they offer a fun time. Overall, I would say Dead Rising is a unique and fun experience, even more than 15 years after its release. Its incredible mall locale offers so much to explore, and it looks good for its time. The lovable B-movie plot adds to the charm of the game. While there are issues with the AI and gun controls, they're easy to overlook with this revolutionary gameplay. The gameplay itself is fun and engaging, especially when using melee weapons. Dead Rising is a classic game that deserves its status, and it's definitely worth going back to. So on my Xbox 360 ranked list, it actually ranks in at number 3, just under Prey and right over Halo Wars. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, it really helps out, and let me know in the comments below if you've ever played this game or if you have anything to add on. And I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.